loved it.
Awesome. Yeah.
Okay, they're recording
Safe
it. Be
travels,
careful.
Steve.
Y'all be
I
good.
know
Bye
we're
now.
cold. We're going to power through. We're halfway through January. Well, I have some exciting news for us today, and that is that Eric Danielson is being or has been discharged from the hospital today.
Okay.
So he's in great form. He's been seen and heard from today by some of our club members, myself included. So we're very excited about that. And I'll just share a little bit of personal news. My mother went in for knee replacement surgery on Monday, and I just got news that she is being released today. And I'm grateful that I'm not doing that yet. So Kiwanis International is turning 110 in a few days, and our club is turning 105 in a few days. January is our anniversary month, and January 28th is our actual anniversary date. So we're very excited about that. And please don't forget that we have our 105th birthday foundation appeal going on right now, and you have until the 29th to submit a donation to our foundation and throw your name in the hat for prizes. You must donate at least $105. We have some special guests with us today that we're very excited, and I'd like to particularly welcome Tulane Patterson for joining us today, our Lieutenant Governor. Thank you, Tulane. Okay, we've got JC Taylor. Come on up here, JC. He's going to do our call for introspection and our Pledge of Allegiance, and then Harry Zuloff will be introducing our guests today.
Madam President, good afternoon to all of you. I was thinking about what I could say today, and I thought about, I was at a place where, in a church rather, and Preston Tyler gave a message, and his message was centered on one word: foretaste. Foretaste. He referenced the scripture that talked about getting a foretaste of heaven. So I thought about that, and I went back to when my mom used to make cakes. Back in the day, we made cakes. And she would make a little tiny cake for you to sample. And you taste the sample cake, and if that's any cake is going to be anything like the sample cake, I can't wait to get some of that. Well, if you're visiting the Kiwanis for your first time today, you're getting a foretaste. I looked up foretaste because I'm not that brilliant. So I looked up that word, and it means a sample of something to come. When I was a young single guy, there we go. I met this young lady at a grocery store, and she came out, she looked at me, and I looked at her. And I said, she said, I had a new car. She said, nice car. I said, you want to go for a ride? She said, I can't go far because I got ice cream I just picked up. I said, well, we'll go around the block. I went about 4 blocks, brought her back to her car, and just as she got ready to get out, I said, how about a little hook right here? She said, that's kind of bold, but anyway, I got it. So that was a foretaste. When you get a foretaste of something, you got to go back. February 3rd would be 46 years since I received that foretaste. That's a true story, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Now you know what a foretaste is. So we do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Is that all right?
Would you get in a car with this man?
Good afternoon. My name is Harry Zuloff. I am a graduate of the Ohio State University. I am so excited to be up here today. Anyway, that's not a break, is it? Okay, I'm here to welcome our guests. If they would stand and their host, I would appreciate it. First off, this guy doesn't have a host, it says, but Tulane Patterson. Anyone know Tulane? He's our lieutenant governor. All right. Now, I've got Dwayne Burley of the Salvation Army. Would you stand up? And Ken is his host. Let's give him a. All right. I guess we'll be seeing David Tate here of Habitat and Jeff Vick later. You get more of an introduction. Thank you for coming. And last is Betsy Osborne, whose host is her father. Lee, are you here yet? Oh, okay. He'll be here in the next 15 minutes. Let's welcome Betsy, okay? So anyway, you can go ahead and sit down. I just want to tell you why I am happy that I'm a member of this club and why I joined. Just this morning, I was over at the Carillion Wellness working out. And who did I see but Alex? Where are you, Alex? You're here. He was working out somewhere. There he is. And another person I saw was Dick Clemmer. Remember Dick? Unfortunately, he just resigned recently, but he's been a long-time member. So what I like about this club is when I go somewhere, Lee, how you doing, Lee? Here, let's give Lee a welcome here, right? Yeah. When I go somewhere, whether it's working out or to, Home Depot or wherever it may be throughout the city, I oftentimes run into one of my members here that I consider part of family. So that's why I'm here. I know.
Well, I would say JC and Harry are both masterful at doing a non-brag buck up here at the podium. So good for them. Next up, we're going to do one of my favorite things, which is giving away money. And I'm glad Lee got here in time for that. Bob Haberman's going to come up for our grant presentation.
Excuse me. And thank you, President Jean. Lee, I know you just sat down, but would you please come up and tell us a little bit about Healing Strides? And then his lovely daughter, Betsy, will come up and tell us a little bit about what they're going to do with today's grant. Lee?
Hi, it's cold out there. I'm Lee Osborne, and I am the sponsor contact, I guess, for Healing Strides. We have been supporting Healing Strides at least 6 years, probably longer. I couldn't say for sure how long. Healing Strides is a therapeutic riding center. They do other things besides just therapeutic riding, but that's their primary focus and that's their nonprofit focus. And our connection goes back to trying to remember when we first, anyway. Well, my connection goes back to my daughters when they were teenagers and riding horses, and they volunteered there. in the therapeutic riding program. And so every time this comes up for a grant at Kiwanis, I always recuse myself from voting because I have a conflict of interest because my daughter Betsy works at Healing Strides as their program director. And we also have some other volunteers. Beth volunteers there, Beth Obrakta. And I hope if you've never been out there, I would encourage everyone here in the club to go out there and experience firsthand what they have there as a resource for our community. And I'm going to let Betsy tell you a little bit more about what these funds will be used for. But I can tell you that at any given time, they have about 25 horses that they take care of, and most of which are used in their therapeutic riding or their riding training program. Betsy?
Well, thank you guys so very much. Thank you, Dad. Yes, Kiwanis has been supporting Healing Strides for a very long time. I actually was kind of thinking back over the last few years and some of the ways we have been able to really improve the quality of the programs that we offer and also improve the quality of the experience for both our participants and our horses. Last year, we received a grant for special saddle pads, which may not seem like it's the most exciting thing, but man, have we seen a really massive difference in our horses and their comfortability when being ridden over the last year with these saddle pads. A couple years ago, we did a restock our props room where we got some really wonderful equipment and just engagement, toys, activities, all sorts of things to help complement the therapeutic riding piece of it. This year, we wrote our grant kind of as the first phase of a project that we're really excited about. We do have two beautiful riding arenas, one of which is outdoors, one of which is covered, not heated, sadly. And so we also have an area in the back of our facility that we call our sensory trail. And that is an opportunity for our participants, whether mounted or unmounted, to basically go on a trail ride. It is not enclosed. It is back in the beautiful nature of Franklin County. It's right along a creek called Maggoty Creek. And so this grant is this funding is kind of the first stage of what we would like to see as the potential for that area. Safety is always important. It's always elevating the risk anytime we leave the arena. And so ensuring that, for example, the footing that the actual trail path has is safe for horses, is good for the environment, and is something that is going to sustain and last for a long time. We've been essentially using mulch, which sadly when it rains gets washed away and then we get to replenish it. So we've been brainstorming wonderful ideas, and we're really excited that this is going to kind of launch an opportunity for our horses and riders to really enjoy the outdoors on horseback, which it's the dream. I would also like to kind of second my dad's invitation down to Healing Strides. I will not blame you if you would like to wait
I had to
until it
put
is
that dog out.
January. But truly, he has my contact
But,
information. I
you
can also
don't
give you
come
guys my
back in
contact
easy.
information. We'd love to have you guys come down. We can give you a little tour. You can meet some horses. I can show you guys the
looks
sensory
and
trail and some of
thinks
the
he
other
wants to get on the upper
wonderful
level.
contributions that Healing Strides has, that Kiwanis
Yeah,
has made
no,
for
I'm
Healing
on.
Strides. So thank you guys so very much. I really appreciate everything you've done for us.
Well, thank you.
But she was wandering around back there in the grass and didn't want to come back in.
Should unmute yourself.
Thank you very much. All right. Poor Lee, he took a lot of teasing before he got up here at the podium. Next up, I'd like to ask Ken Briggs to join us. He's going to do a recognition for our Salvation Army bell ringers.
Good afternoon, and we had fun again during the 3 nights of Dickens of a Christmas, Better Andy, ringing the bell for the Salvation Army. This year we collected a total of $1,756.12. So we're up, yeah, for sure. We're up almost to $24,000 that we've been able to raise over the last 15 years. And it's not only the raising of the money, which we know is used so well, but the fellowship we have. It gets us downtown on a Friday night to enjoy the beauty of downtown Roanoke. I've got the names of 26 Kiwanians here and friends, many spouses, who rang this year. Rather than you've seen the names in the newsletter, would if you volunteered and you rang, would you please stand so that we can thank you? Looks like most of them might still be out there ringing. We don't know, but anyway, some thank yous to Kiwanian. No, that's better, isn't it? Kiwanian Tara Marcinik and Centerton Square. They allow us to ring on their property each year and allow us to store their materials in their storage room. And special thanks to Kiwanis Major Matt Trantham, who's in Florida now. Matt was a great Kiwanian and a great addition to our club. He not only brought our kettles and the materials every Friday evening, he subbed when we were short on help, rang the bell, and he made those special aprons. Some of you saw those Kiwanis Salvation Army aprons that are in storage to be used next year. It's appropriate with Matt gone as we celebrate Salvation Army that we have Captain Dwayne Burley here today. Captain, if you'd stand, and welcome to Roanoke and welcome to this meeting. Captain Dwayne and his wife Kathy are the new commanders at Salvation Army, and we hope that you might consider affiliating with us during your time. Thank you, Captain. Final recognition, I wanted to mention 2 of our Action Club members really saved the day for us. We had some openings in our schedule, and I called J.J. Harper and Jeff Swiger, and I said, Jeff, could you help us out and ring? J.J., I think, rang 2 nights, and Jeff, you rang, I think, maybe a total of 5 or 6 hours on 3 evenings. Would you stand so that we can recognize you? Thank you, Jeff. Some of you got a chance to, Jeff, keep standing, will you? Some of you got a chance to ring with Jeff. I told Captain Burley, his personality changes when you get a bell in his hand, because if you're anywhere in Market Square, you hear from Jeff Swiger.
Thank you so much, Ken, and thank you for Kiwanians for volunteering for that. It's such a wonderful tradition that we have every year, and of course, we love our relationship with our Action Club, and they have definitely put in a lot of service hours to help us out. Okay, a few more announcements. We've got immediately after this meeting today, we've got our nominating committee to meet. Sherry Hartman is leading that. Our fun committee is also meeting. I guess that's Lois and Andre with that. And then our membership committee is meeting next week immediately after the Kiwanis meeting. So you can check in with Harry on that one. And we've got our hockey game with the Rail Yard Dogs this Friday. Everybody should have already signed up for that. And Mike Obrachta has tickets for you if you haven't gotten those yet. We have 19 folks going, so we're excited about that. Monday is a holiday for those of us who work, and for retired people, every day is a holiday. So On your tables, you'll see this great flyer that Sherry has put together or that Clean Valley Council has put together. And this is a volunteer opportunity. It's Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, and it's traditionally a day of service. On that flyer, it has instructions for registration. Anyone is welcome to come, but you do need to register in advance, please. And so that's going to be a cleanup activity for the area around Melrose and the Envision Center. Something new that we're putting together as a special task force this year is our risk management committee. And we do have a few members who have volunteered to help with that committee. But if you would like to join that committee, please let me know or let John know. John Montgomery will be working with that committee. Lee Osborne will be working with that committee, and Ken Briggs. This is going to be a review of the insurance policies and coverages that we have, and let us know if we need to change our coverages and any things that we need to do for best practices to protect the members in our club from any liability issues. Okay, and I already mentioned the foundation appeal earlier, so don't forget about that one. All right, we've got some time for brag bucks. I know Jill Sluss wants to come up, and Chris Rouse also wants to come up. We've got time for some others as well.
Thank you, President Jean. So I'm with Family Service in Roanoke Valley, Chief Development Officer. I think all of you all know that. We have been participating, our club has been participating in the Kiwanis Grand Angel program. And I wondered, how many years this has been going on, because I knew it was many, many. Talked to President Jean and John, both of them said, well, at least 10, which is phenomenal. But just want to let you all know it was such a success. Our guardian representative, of course, used the funding to purchase Christmas gifts for holiday gifts for our clients that are in assisted living facilities. Otherwise, receive nothing from the holidays. So our goal was 500. We thought even if we get 400, we'll still be fine. And of course, as announced in our newsletter, we got 900, a new record. So thanks to you all. You are so generous. Words really cannot express just how much this means to us, because they had more money than ever. Clients, and of course, the guardian representatives know exactly what their clients either need or want. Just want to ask if everyone who contributed,
we got birds eating over front.
Money to
John Bradshaw,
recognize.
hit the mute button.
And your names will be printed in the next newsletter. Thank you all so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, President Jean. Good afternoon, fellow Kiwanians. How's everybody today? All right. I'd like to let you all know how wonderful it is to be part of this club. And I have come up with what I think is something pretty cool about the leadership team and all of y'all. It's awesomeness. This club's superpower is awesomeness. And it's just because of how I feel every time I come here and how I feel when I leave. You are all awesome. And I just want to say thank you very, very much. Give yourselves a round of applause. I've got two other quick ones. Does anybody here like pinball? You guys ever play pinball? Well, I would tell you, talk to Jason Poff. Jason's superpower, another superpower, is pinball aficionado. We went over to the Pinball Museum last week and had a lot of fun. So we talked about maybe getting a group of people to go there sometime. Let's consider that. And Jason's also a very nice, wonderful person too. So that's another bonus. And lastly, who is a gadget guru here? Who is a gadget guru? I didn't say it properly, but Mike Obrachta, right? Mike is a great leader, and Mike is somebody that offers really good advice. And I'm just going to say that sometimes the smallest things can make the biggest difference. And Mike and I had a meeting a few weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago or so, right before the YMCA ribbon cutting. And Mike noticed I pulled out my credit card to pay for coffee. He said, well, you could really use your phone to make that transaction a lot more efficient and effective. And lo and behold, I went home that night and got on the Google Pay. So now I don't pull out my credit card anymore. So, and it made a huge difference. So I wanted to say Mike's superpowers are leadership and providing great advice. You all are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, President Gene. Reef Kessler here. It's been 4 weeks since we were here in this room for the West End Center Christmas party, which is a really fun day. It takes a perhaps unperceived amount of effort to make that happen. And Lois is certainly to be congratulated for all she does to make that happen. But that wasn't the primary reason that I got up here, but I guess I'm giving more than one brag. No, I came up to brag on the participation of a couple of our key clubs in making that happen. You all may realize that on Saturday morning before the party, a group of people gather at the Clearbrook a Walmart to buy gifts, like several hundred gifts for these kids. And that Saturday morning, there were about more than 30 key club members from the Cave Spring Club who helped about 10 or 12 Kiwanis buy these several hundred gifts. The following
hello.
is
How are you, Sunshine?
the party. There were over 25 key club members from the Patrick Henry Key Club that gathered with about 5 or 6 Kiwanis to wrap these several hundred gifts. We got finished about 7 o'clock. If the key club members had not been there, I would have been late getting to bed that night. But anyway, these young people are interested, capable, and energetic, and were a world of help in both of those days and in making the party a success. So that's my brag.
Hi there. Just quickly, Sherry Hartman here. I want to introduce to you a very special guest at our luncheon today. She just came from North Carolina to join us today. That is the author of our becoming increasingly famous Larry the Roanoke Perch book. We had an idea, but that would have gone nowhere without the help of this exceptionally brilliant author of our children's book, and that is Melissa Rooney. Thanks for being here.
Well, good morning. How are you too?
And Book No Further is partnering with us. If you have friends who want to get access to this wonderful book that makes us all feel like we've got to keep the water quality great for the sake of Larry and his offspring, Book No Further is making it available for just the cost of shelving it there. So it's a little less than $5. And then club members, you still get it for free from our Kiwanis Nature Park Committee. Thank you so much, Melissa, for all you've done to get our message out there so well. Thanks for coming.
I'm still Lee Osborne, and I will be brief. I want to ask Betsy, my daughter, since she's here, to stand up and be a part of this. But I think I had an opportunity to just mention this in passing, but I wasn't prepared to make a brag at that time. But yesterday was the 1-month birthday of my second granddaughter, Clara May Vick. And so we tend, as we now do quite frequently, I'm using this as an occasion to make a donation to the Kiwanis Foundation for $250 in honor of her birth.
Everybody, Mike McAvoy. I know we're short on time, so I'll be real brief. JC, did a great job talking about his longevity in marriage, and I just wanted to follow up on that. We My wife and I, our anniversary was yesterday, and we've been married 36 years, and the best decision I ever made. So.
Those are some great brags, everyone. Thank you very much. For our guest benefit, brag bucks are a way to celebrate something personal or promote something to our club, and the funds that we provide for that go into our club's foundation, which is how we help provide funding for all of our service projects. All right, next up is Jeff Vick, who's going to introduce today's speaker.
Good afternoon, everybody. We have the pleasure and honor of welcoming somebody to talk about one of the most critical and most necessary organizations that I've run across in my career as a diplomat. I've worked for this organization in Chile, in the UK, and in Poland, as well as here in the United States, helping to put together a group of people in a community to help people build housing for themselves and to promote affordable housing for a community. Our guest speaker today is Mr. Tate, Dave Tate. He comes to Roanoke much earlier than I did as a journalist, and has in the last 2 years joined with this organization to become their director of development. So today we're going to hear about Habitat for Humanity, and I'd like to present our good friend, David Tate.
This is where the rubber meets the road, huh? Actually, it's out there. I just left the sites. But a lot of it does start here, and it starts here with education. And so I do appreciate all of you for having me here as a guest today to talk a little bit about the basics of Habitat for Humanity in the Roanoke Valley. We do have a little presentation up here. You can follow along a little bit. I will try to invoke a little bit of color commentary to keep it rolling and happy. But as it says right there, we've been serving the Roanoke Valley since 1986. That means this year is our 39th year. And that's important because next year, and it's important to folks that are interested in supporting Habitat, next year is our 40th anniversary, and we hope to have a community house built. You know, back when Habitat first became an organization in 1976, probably up through the early 90s, they weren't accepting any tax money at all to build their homes. But as things have changed over the generations, federal money and state money is important to keep the mission going. The idea behind the community house that we will build in the 40th anniversary is for small donors, businesses, churches, congregations, no federal money, no state money, straight community money to build a specific house. And so that's what we're looking forward to next year. So you guys are just in time to hear my pitch. Since 1986, Habitat Roanoke has been in our valley. That's 10 years younger than the actual full organization. And so far in that 39 years, we've either built or refurbished 292 homes here in the Roanoke Valley, most of them right here in the city of Roanoke. We do serve more than just the city of Roanoke, however. Within our affiliate DMA is Roanoke County, Craig County, Botetourt County, and the city of Salem. Now, most of our homes, as I just mentioned, are being built in the city, specifically in the Belmont-Fallon area of Southeast Roanoke, which is just across the interstate here, back all the way to about 13th Street. And we are somewhere between 40 and 50 homes so far in the last 4 or 5 years up in that area, with many more to come in the next few years. We are also serving the Melrose area, currently right around the 1600 block in there, all the way down to the 500 block of McDowell. So that big stretch of land in Northwest, we're also doing some individual infills. Good news about Southeast is as you go out of Roanoke towards Vinton or to the lake or wherever you're heading that way, you will see a lot of Habitat construction going along Bullitt, particularly in the 1100 block. We have put in 5 homes there, with the 5th being dedicated next Wednesday. And we have a 6th one planned for that. So I guess what I'm talking about is more just individual infills, but Habitat is actually looking to build communities. That is our mission. What is it for the folks that can't see at home? Way out there. By putting God's love into action, Habitat Roanoke strives for a world where everyone has a decent, affordable place to live. It's just a really basic, human being gesture to our community. It is what it is. It is neighbors helping neighbors, communities pitching in to help others up in times when they can't help themselves fully up. And that is where Habitat Roanoke is really important. So what is it that we build? As I just mentioned, we build communities. Habitat builds houses and we eventually build homes. But at the end of the day, we build communities. We do build homes. We build neighborhoods, as I just mentioned in 1100 block of Bullitt. We build workforce development. For the past 2 years, Habitat Roanoke has had a novel workforce development program where we are currently training 7 young men on the job training for a year. That includes classroom training, about 500 hours of classroom training with another 1,900 hours in the field building homes. And the idea there is at the end of their 1 year, we will source them out in the sense of help them get up into the residential construction industry, which is also as critical as affordable housing is across the country. We also offer family services. We'll talk a little bit about more in a few minutes. And we have the Habitat Restore. So anybody familiar with Restore, that is all part of Habitat for Humanity in the Roanoke Valley. So how can I get a Habitat home? The number one question I answer when I answer the phone at Habitat. A lot of folks think they're giveaways. These are not giveaway homes, but you have to be a first-time home buyer or not owned a home within the past 3 years. And I'll tell you, for folks listening at home and out here, you can get all of this information on our website at www.habitat-roanoke.org, where it will also tell you that all members of your household are U.S. citizens or must be legal residents of the United States. Your present housing situation is overcrowded, unsafe, in substandard conditions, or lacks operable plumbing and or heating. If you're unable to secure adequate housing through the private market, these are all precursors to get into our program. Your residence is not accessible to all household members. Could be a handicapped individual that can't get in for whatever reasons. Doorways might not be wide enough for a wheelchair. There's a number of reasons. Then we need you to have a willingness to partner with us. Will you live in the Habitat target neighborhoods? Currently Belmont, Fallon, and Northwest Roanoke. Those are your options. And so if you do not agree to work with us with what we have available, you'll probably be asked to come back for another cycle. You understand that you may be offered a new build or a rehab. We offer everybody 2 options, and you get to choose one or none, and then you can start again in a new cycle. You plan on staying in your house and becoming part of the neighborhood. This is very important, and because of that, and we do own the mortgage, there is a commitment that if you do buy a Habitat home, there are quite a few resale conditions on your home that will basically bring the home back into the Habitat Roanoke family to go to another family for affordable housing if you in fact do choose you do not want to stay. Habitat homeowners are home buyers. They provide a monthly mortgage. A lot of people think this is a giveaway, including folks calling for a Habitat home. It is not. It can be up to a 2-year program once you're accepted to the time we hand you your keys. 2 years. There's a long, arduous process involved. I'm a former Marine. I've been through boot camp, and this is boot camp. I'm telling you. And I say that because home buyers must complete a variety of classes on home ownership, for instance, and personal finance. Each adult in the home must provide at least 250 hours of sweat equity back into their home or other Habitat projects. And these are folks working hard, night shift folks, 2 parents working to support 5, 6 kids. They still need to get this involved. You have to be a part of the game to be in the game. Habitat home buyers must also have a down payment. So part of our dedication, if you come out on Wednesday, 1104 Bullitt Avenue, you will see the dedication. It takes 20 minutes, and you'll see all of the magic literally culminate in this 20-minute period of time. Finally, you need to have the ability to pay. Total household income must fall between 30 and 60% of HUD area median income. That is actually 80% now. So that is an error. My apologies. And so that's your area median income. So if you're making 30 to 80% of the AMI, you can potentially qualify for our program. Applicants have to have a stable combined income of at least $1,600 a month for a family of one. You have had to have paid your rent on time for at least 12 months. You have not had a foreclosure, bankruptcy, discharge in the past 2 years, and you'll clear any old debts, maintain low debt level. This includes judgments, liens, and collections. The family is committed to maintaining a savings account for emergencies. It's not a giveaway. This is a direction to help people up into one of the most important things a family can have in the United States of America, and that is generational wealth building. And this is where it starts. Not everybody has the same chances, the same opportunities. The lottery of birth does not provide that for all of us. So it is incumbent on all of us to help others up when we can, from our opinion. Habitat for Humanity homes are not for the homeless. Habitat Roanoke does not build homes for the homeless. You know, the unhoused population is about 4 levels of strategy below us. We cannot take somebody off the street and put them into a home and have it be a successful project. So you have your unhoused that has issues to getting into temporary housing. From temporary housing, jobs into stable housing. Could be apartment, could be a duplex. And then finally, you are ready to start saving your money, submitting your plans, showing us that you're ready to be a teammate with us. And then we can help you up into affordable housing. Habitat Roanoke, go back just a sec, Mike. Habitat Roanoke homeowners must have a verifiable and consistent income, good credit, and a savings. And again, that 30 to 80% AMI is super important. That's one of our bullet houses too. Look at her face. And look at, I mean, how can you not look at that picture and not see the power? We don't just do this for individuals or for families. We do this for individuals as well. If you qualify for our program, you qualify for our program. We get about 45 applicants per application period, which is twice a year. About 800 inquiries through that time. 40 will actually come in and do the work, start the work, show us you want to be helped up. And out of those 40, 5 to 8 families will be selected. That's where we're at. But Miss Gray there, she's a grandmother and she wanted a home to raise her grandkids in. So the point is that don't be discouraged. Don't think that you don't qualify. Don't think that you make too much for a Habitat home. Check out what the qualifications are and you might be surprised. And we do have high quality homes. We are Habitat Roanoke homes are built to better than most standards. We do offer Earthcraft certified homes. So we spend a lot of time in the energy efficiency world. Our former director of construction, Brian Clark, he told me personally, because that is a quote I wrote, I wouldn't turn the key over unless I would live in it. And I believe him. He's a good guy and he's pretty straightforward. As Chris Chittum, the executive director of the community development and placement, also from the city of Roanoke, who just retired this past year, he said, quote, one of the best developers of housing in the city. When we give Habitat money, we know they are going to perform. How much do we perform? Well, you know, the city of Roanoke is 4,000 affordable housing units short. And we knock out between 8 and 12 houses a year. It's not a lot when you look at it against 4,000. There's far more issues going on out there than people not being able to build homes that we have to address. But at the end of the day, we're doing everything we can. And it's not just 12 homes. You got to look at it in the generational building, the wealth building, the ability to put children into safe, warm environments where they can learn to become better citizens. Less folks going into the judicial system, less folks counting on social systems, more folks having better jobs, more folks getting married and staying together in families, more folks having better jobs to pay more money into the tax base. Habitat Roanoke is not a charity. We are provide home repair service. We offer affordable housing to qualified families. Habitat for Humanity was founded by the Fullers, not our late great President Carter. I just had to slip him in there because goodness gracious, are we going to miss that man and his wife? Such good people. Rosalind Carter and Jimmy Carter did begin working with us in 1984 and eventually were responsible for helping us build 4,400 homes in 14 countries. But in 1976, the real credit goes to Millard and Linda Fuller of Americus, Georgia. They are the ones that began this. They're the ones that kept the dream going, and we're the ones that have picked up the torch and continue today. So how can you help? Last slide. This is easy stuff. Volunteering, either as a group or an individual. Your business, your civic group, your church, your Boy Scout troop. We'll take them all. That is the ground level way to get involved with Habitat. That is where you get to work side by side with our home buyers and feel what it is they're feeling and actually feel the power of what we do. But of course, you can also get into workplace fundraising through raffles. It could be a pancake breakfast. It could be a car wash. Financial sponsorships that can be applied to in a variety of ways. You could be a roofing company and decide to put a roof on one of our homes. That's an in-kind gift of $12,000 right there. Or you could just be a guy that has $12,000 and say, hey, I want to buy that roof. We'll do that too. Point is, we have things from $1 to $10,000 that I could stick that thing on and say, hey, this is what your money tangibly did for us. It's not going into a general fund. It is going to go to put shingles on this house that when you drive by every day, you know you did it. And that's a big deal. We do some purchase marketing. We're looking at different ideas with putting advertisements on our Restore vans, or we have a big LED sign on Melrose that we like to get the word out about our corporate friends and other folks involved in our mission. But I think finally, other than volunteering, the next easiest thing you can do besides spreading the word and praying for us is come to the Restore. Restore, everything we do at the Restore, that money goes back into our mission, and they are a huge part of what we do. We are not all recycled at the Restore. We have a lot of brand new stuff. So if you know folks getting into the home remodeling world and stuff, we have a lot of things going for you there at the Restore, and we'd love to see you come because your dollars are going to work for us while our supplies go to work for you. My name is David Tate. I am the Director of Development at Habitat for Humanity in the Roanoke Valley. And I thank you so much for having me here, and I'll take questions. Yeah, what you got? Thank you. Semper Fi. We do hold the mortgage. It's a 20-year mortgage. It's a 20-year mortgage. So as soon as they pay it off, that'll be transferred over to them. Yeah. They absolutely do. Yeah. And how we do it, the homes we're building right now are, and no matter what neighborhood you're building them in, are running up into the 300,000 range, up to there. That's obviously not affordable housing. So Habitat, because we are the developer, we are the mortgage company, and we are basically the labor, we're able to work certain loan forgiveness as our home buyers hit certain plateaus in their 20-year mortgage system. Yeah. So the question is rehabbing the one, not so much the one, more two-story homes. Since I've been here, I don't know of any rehabs we've done. No, we've done a couple single story, but right now a majority of what we're doing is 2-floor rehabs. Yes, ma'am. Good question. Do we accept donations and cans of paint at the restore? Cans of paint is easy. If it's new, unsealed, or it's still sealed, we'll take it. Yeah, not leftover paint. Sorry. Now we do sell what's called a recolor paint. So there's a company up in the Northern Virginia area that reconstitutes that type of paint, and we do actually buy that paint and use that as part of our line. So that's that. And what was the second question? I apologize. Yes. Yeah, the restore doesn't take books. That's Goodwill. We don't take clothing. That's Goodwill. We take furniture. We take building supplies that are still usable, old windows. If you're doing a remodel, you might have doors, things like that. We'll take all of that stuff. And we do have a pickup service. Appliances. We sell appliances. 100%. Yep. Yes, sir. International, sure. I don't know the exact numbers on that, but every one of the affiliates are affiliates. Habitat International does provide some support to us, and some folks in here might be donating to Habitat International, and then some of that money comes back to us, for instance. And there are lots of grants going on through Habitat International that we do work with. And currently we're working with, in fact, we're one of a select few of Habitat affiliates in the country that are working with a specific type of grant this year that's brand new to us, that's helping fill that revenue stream that we're missing with the ARPA grants from the COVID disaster that we had been working with up until December of last year. Yes, sir. Yes, the question is about small home communities. It is something going on in different Habitat affiliates around the country. We have talked about it. There is no sort of study going on in our world in that regard. The problem with that from our point of view is that you have to build an infrastructure. You can't, right now we've already got the infrastructure in place. What you're talking about would require land, then it would require full development to include roads, sewer, the whole 9 yards. And that is something that's just completely out of our world at this time. Yeah. Yes. Volunteering for 6 months for Habitat in the country of Hungary. Ask either one of us, will tell you the best time of our lives. Nice way to spend time helping your organization. That's a $2 brag. Thank you. Seriously. What you got? Amen. Great. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. So the question is, does Habitat Roanoke do multifamily developments? And the answer is currently no, but it's not far away, I would say. It is definitely in our current long-term strategy planning that we just got through working on. Nothing specific yet. but it is definitely something we're taking a look at. We have some donated property that would be excellent places for multifamily development. We are looking at different folks that have done it before us. So the New River Valley is one of them. It doesn't necessarily fit what we are doing here right now, but I will tell you again, as new funding opportunities come to the surface in the shadow of the ARPA grants from the COVID disaster, a lot of these grants are starting to look like they're going to be attached to the need to have multiple family development going on. Schleimberger. Yeah. I don't know those answers. I don't know those answers. What I do know is that we come close to finding most folks that qualify are typically offered. We don't know who they are until the application window opens up. This next one is May 12th or May 7th, I think. Early May through June 12th. It's a 6-week process. And we go through different orientation sessions with interested folks. We work with folks filling out their application. As you can imagine, this is a mortgage. This isn't just a fill out an application and throw it in. You are going through a mortgage process. So we look for folks that are taking this as seriously as we do. And at the end of the day, I think that we have just enough qualified applicants to fill the slots that we are producing for. Yes, ma'am. Yes. It is a challenge to find folks to qualify where we need them to be, because again, we have to be incredible stewards of our donors' money, and we have no choice. Yeah, no choice but to have willing partners, and that's what we consider them, willing partners to join the Habitat family. Yes, sir. And we do try to steer them in the right direction, and we get quite a few people reapplying. I can tell you in our current cohort, I think we have 2 different people that have applied at least 2 times and 1 guy at least 3. Yeah. So it's competitive.
So as is our tradition, we do have a small honorarium to offer to David for Habitat. Thank you so much.
Thank you all so much.
That was a great presentation and some really great questions as well. Thank you all for participating. I just want to give you a quick update that we brought in $320 for brag bucks today. So that's quite impressive. And next week, we're excited. We're going to have the program is the United Nations model at Roanoke College. Dr. Andrea Mihalake O'Keefe is going to be our speaker next week. And Joyce is going to be our special moderator next week because I will be out taking care of my mother. And Joyce is going to fill in for me, and I'm very appreciative of that. I just want to offer a quick closing brag of my own, and this is on our leadership and Mike McAvoy as well. So we had our board meeting on Monday, and I got a very early message from Mike McAvoy saying that they had a water break at the Water Authority where we have our meetings. Irony aside, he gave us a lot of notice, and I made quick emergency call to Sheila Umberger, who's a member of our club, and secured a space at the main library. And John was able to get in touch with everyone very effectively and very quickly. And we had 100% attendance at our board meeting, which is amazing. So thank you all for working together to show up and get business done. And we are adjourned.